Hi students, very good morning all. Welcome back to my class. Students, today I am going to start a new topic, that is water, a precious resource. Okay, students, before going to explain about the water, and let me give a small information or introduction about the life and the living creatures. You know students, in the nature, living things are divided into two types. Okay, what are those? Living creatures are divided into students two types: plants and animals, and third is microorganisms. So all these living things require some basic components for their survival. What are those? First and foremost one is air, water, and food, shelter. Okay, all these are called basic requirements which required for the survival of the every living creature, whether it is a plant, animal, or a small microorganism. They need some basic requirements. So out of all this, now today in this lesson we are going to learn about importance of water for living creature, as well as and what are the sources for the water, in what way we are getting drinking water, about all these things, and what are the measures we need to take to conserve the water, why it is becoming a precious thing. So let us discuss in this topic. See students, here water conservation and water a precious resource. Generally, as a human, what we'll think the precious things are money or some gold or properties. But at least today onwards we have to change that, view that. So basic requirements, protecting them and conserving them, they will become a future assets for us. Okay, let us discuss in the class. And first, I said no, water is a basic thing, and so we'll write water is a H2O. Two molecules of hydrogen atoms and one molecule of oxygen will form water. This is the water structure. Understand? Let us see. First, in this slide, I am going to explain about the different states of the water. Generally, water is available in three states. First one, in the gaseous form. Example, it is in the form of air, vapor and all. Liquid form. See, generally liquid is water, and it available in all the water bodies as well as in the underground. Solid form. Example, ice caps and glaciers. Okay, so this is the vapor form and water vapor, and liquid form water, and solid form ice caps and glaciers at the polar regions. Let us see water wave life cycle. See children, first of all let me explain the water cycle. Let me explain water cycle. Water cycle is one of the biogeochemical cycle. Water cycle is, students, one of biogeochemical cycle. What do you mean by biogeochemical cycles? So children, here there is a flow of nutrients from one component to other component. Let me explain. In the nature, there are two components. What are those, children? Biotic components and abiotic components. Biotic and abiotic components. Biotic are, all living creatures will come under this. All living things, plants, animals, all microorganisms will come under this category. And abiotic, like water, soil, air, land, all will come under abiotic components. Here, students, in order to sustain the life in the nature, it required the support from the abiotic components. The thing is that, so the thing what we are eating, the food what we are eating, the water what we are drinking, and the maximum energy we are dragging from the nature itself. Nature is giving everything to us, like foods, clothes, shelter, everything. So students, we are directly depending on on nature for our basic needs. Am I correct or not? Yes. So, what do you mean by biogeochemical cycle? Means there is a transfer of energy from biotic components to the abiotic components. That is the biogeochemical cycles. This energy or nutrients is stored in the biogeochemicals only. Obviously, we will get it from the earth itself. See students, let us discuss about the water cycle. Water bodies like ocean or river. So during the daytime, what will happen? Mr. Sun will be in the sky, correct? No? And so during this daytime, what will happen? So due to the excess temperature, the water gets evaporated. Okay, water gets evaporation. And the other thing is that transpiration. So evaporation and transpiration are the two physical processes occurs during the daytime. As a result, what will happen? The water from the earth's surface, it will reach us to the atmosphere, and here they will be condensed to form, and condensation to form clouds. They'll be forming clouds. Now, this condensation is followed by the precipitation. So, as a result, this will get the rainfall. So, there is a cyclic flow of the water in the nature is called water cycle. It involves 4 physical processes: evaporation, transpiration, condensation, and precipitation. So, what is happening, children? So, water from the earth's surface, it is going to the atmosphere, forms cloud by means of evaporation and transpiration. Clouds are formed with the help of condensation, and so it is followed by the precipitation. As a result, rain is going to be fall on the earth's surface. So, the cyclic flow of the water between the ecosystem, that is water cycle. Next, oceanic water cycle, related to the movement of ocean water to the land. So, what do you mean by oceanic water cycle? See, it is movement of the ocean water to the land. Here, the process of condensation, precipitation, and discharge of water takes place in the form of rain. Just now I explained with the help of diagram, right? So, same again I need to explain here also. Water cycle. Okay, see, this is the cyclic flow of the water between land and air, or between the air and all. So, that will be the water cycle. Next, water table and its scope. And before going to explain about the water table, let me give small idea about the water resources. Generally, students, from where you will be getting the water for your daily needs. Okay, generally, for what purpose used to be use the water? First and foremost one is, students, drinking, okay, and washing clothes, washing vegetables. For the cooking you will be using all these things, and for cleaning also you required water. So for all these basic works you required water. Students, once imagine your day without the water. No, we can't imagine. So such a crucial essential thing is water. Okay, but and let me explain the sources of the water, students. Generally, we'll get water from nearby water bodies such as oceans, rivers, lakes, and the glaciers. And rain is the one of the source of water, and underground water is one of the source of water. Okay, generally people will be collecting water either from rivers, lakes, glaciers, or from the rain, or from the underground water. So these are the different sources for the water. So we'll be utilizing this water. And let us see reasons for. And now let me explain what do you mean by water table. What do you mean by water table? So water table is said to be water which is saturated underground from rain or rivers. This leads to the extraction of groundwater to consume more water by humans. See children, generally will dig the bores into the underground to get the groundwater. Water table is said to be a water which is saturated underground from, so that the point where water is available, that particular area is considered as the water table. Here water table is said to be water which is saturated underground ground from rain or rivers. This leads to the extraction of groundwater to consume more water by the humans. See children, this is the surface of the ground, and so the point where it will be the water table. Okay, so up to this we can have the water in the form of saturated water, and this will be the groundwater, the level where we'll be getting the water table. And reasons for depletion of water table. But day by day, as the population increasing, as the globalization increasing, the water table is decreasing. What are the reasons for it? Let us discuss. First and foremost reason is that deforestation and scanty rainfall. See children, for many adverse effect, the first and prime reason is the deforestation. The reason is that, students, we, with our human acts, we are destroying our nature. So simply by imbalancing the ratio of plants as well as the animals. See children, only one point I'll say, I can make you to understand very well. You know, plants and animals, both are the living things. But you know children, plant requires carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis. So they'll be utilized this carbon dioxide and synthesize the carbohydrates, and they'll be releasing the oxygen into the atmosphere, and that oxygen is taken by the animals. So in the form of respiration, again they're going to release the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So the ratio between the oxygen and the carbon dioxide is being balanced with the same number of the plants as well as the animals. But somehow we people disturbing the ratio of the plants and animals. The reason is that urbanization, industrialization, so increased population. So what we are doing, we are trying to cut down the plants for our selfish needs. Of course, the needs are demanding, but we are not doing the things in a proper way. If you'll have a plan properly, if you'll follow all these things, it will be no harmful, okay? But without any proper planning, so without any awareness towards the nature and environment, we ourselves destroying the nature. Like simply we are converting the agriculture lands into commercial lands, and we are slowly converting the villages into the small cities into the metropolitan cities and all. So as a result, what happened? So we are giving more priority to the commerciality. Okay, so we always think that for the profit. But so as a result, what will happen? We are cutting the plants like anything. So we are encouraging the deforestation. As a result, what happened? The number of plants are decreased, the number of animals were increased. As a result, the carbon dioxide levels are increasing day by day. So the oxygen levels are decreasing, obviously. So I said the first and prime reason for the reasons for depletion of the water table is deforestation and scanty rainfall. So when there was no plants, obviously it may affects the rainfall of the particular area. Obviously, if you will not have plenty of rains in the particular year, what will happen? There is no agriculture and the crops and all. Obviously, we have to face drought conditions. That is the one reason. And we need to face floods also. So much of interlinked things are there. Excessive consumption by increasing the population. So we are simply wasting the water like anything. Excessive consumption. Decrease in the seepage area. What do you mean by seepage area? Generally, students, whatever the water fallen on the earth, it has to seep into the soil. But we people, we are simply converted the soil into the concrete jungles. So what happened? Everywhere we are doing it, cementing, as well as the roads, everywhere it is roads. We are not leaving even small feet of land in and around our surroundings. So where is the scope of the water to seep into the soil? We are not giving any chance to water seep into the soil. So whatever the rain falls, so it will be going to the direct drainage, then it is going mixed with the oceans. We are wasting the valuable rainwater. Excessive uses by agriculture activities and increase in the industries and searching of minerals and metabolic elements. So these are the different reasons for depletion of water table. Let us see a few facts that made water a precious resource. Let us discuss what are the facts that made us water is a precious resource. In 1990, the average person used 183 gallons of the water per day. But see, you just see the ratio, students. Your body is estimated to be about 60 to 70% of the water. Blood is mixed with it. 2% is fresh water that has been frozen in the glaciers, icebergs and ice caps. More water spent on turf. So these are the calculations. And human can live without food for 3 months, but without water can live more than week. Without food, can we live even for 3 months it seems, but we cannot leave the water after a week. You can save nearly 700 gallons of water per month simply by shortening your shower by 1 or 2 minutes. You just see, by simply, if you minimize the shower bath, you can save nearly 700 gallons of the water. And calories effect caused in the Pacific Ocean, a great toxic island called the Pacific Garbage Path. It's about 7 lakh square centimeters, square kilometers to 50 lakh square kilometers area filled with a non-degradable plastic content. So it's an area in the Pacific Ocean. It is simply contains non-degradable plastic materials. Right? How the wastage can be reduced. So these are the different ways how we can reduce the wastage of the water. And water you add and outdoor plants early or late in the day to reduce the evaporation. Maximum we need to plant the water during the evening time. So if we'll go for in the morning time, so that water may evaporate during the sunlight. So it's better to water the plant in the evening session. And mulch around the plants to hold the water. We need to create a hole around the plant just to hold the water. Take a shorter showers, 5 minutes or less is the best. And install new toilets that use less than 1.6 gallons for flush. See, use a short of nozzle on your hose, and see, turn off the water while soaping hands and brushing the teeth. Generally we used to have a bad habit that while you are brushing we'll allow the tap to move. So it is very bad habit. So, and when you start brushing, stop water, and when the brushing is over, again on it and you can do your work. And this is the put the faucet aerators on the sink, and this is the thing. And use plants that requires less water. Use a low flow shower head and turn off sinks. This one, use a broom, not a hose, to clean driveways and as well as walkways. Next, various methods of water conservation, like first one, drip irrigation, rainwater harvesting, plant vegetation, rooftop harvesting, zero net deforestation. So all these are the different conservative methods so that we can conserve the valuable resource that is water. Drip irrigation. Students, it is one of the good irrigation method. We now and then we are using drip irrigation and sprinkler system in our fields. So slowly even our government also encouraging farmers to go for this modern methods of irrigation rather than following the ancient methods. Okay. Like rainwater harvesting, it is excellent conservation methods. Even a small household domestic man also he can do this work, but we are not doing that. Simply the reason is that where people were not having any proper awareness, due to the lack of knowledge only we are creating lot of disturbance as well as the nonsense in here. And rooftop harvesting and zero net deforestation. And continue, see, plant vegetation, planting agricultural crops can avoid the depletion of the water table. See, if you'll go for more plantation, so obviously more water can be seeped into the soil. It is a rich source for the groundwater. Drip irrigation and slow process of letting down of the water to the plant. Drip irrigation is a very excellent method, and so with this method we can easily conserve the water for the irrigation, as well as we can get a good output also. And ridging the methods, it is the method used instead of rainwater harvesting in drought land like Malawi in Africa. Next, continued soil management, weather applications, organic farming methods, and Bowery, a traditional method, and infiltration, construction of dams. See, soil management, weather applications, organic farming methods, Bowery, a traditional method, and infiltration, construction of the dams. These are the different things, right? And groundwater is important source of water. See, these are the picture showing the importance of the water, in what way we can drag the water from the ground. So it's a diagrammatic representation showing about the groundwater as an important source of water. And see, best methods of water conservation is here. The purpose of Xeriscape was to popularize the landscapes, water conservation, to educate people about the importance of the water to humans and other life forms. And goal, planning and designing for beauty and the water conservation from beginning, and reduce water use, filters, fertilizers use, pesticides, and low maintenance cost, reduce runoff, preserve topsoils, drought tolerant, low maintenance needs can save the 39% of the water. So students, and let us see, water is a precious resource, and water is a precious resource really, and it's not only set from the wasting it, but also from the uses of consumption of the more water than the required, polluting water and lack of water, industrial waste, drainage, and other degradable pollutants. So let us see, and so students, and we have gone through all the slides which I have prepared, and this is about the water is a precious resource. And students, and not only about the water, we need to conserve our all the natural resources like water, air, soil. So we are getting continuous benefits from all these things. The thing is that we should be educated. So that is the reason NCERT board included this type of wonderful topics in our syllabus. The reason is that you people are the future generation, right? So you should know the importance of nature as well as the water and the air. Then obviously you will have a good idea about this. Obviously we can implement all these things in our day-to-day life. So conservation of life. So while you are bathing, so before, if you have the habit of using 4 buckets of water, try to minimize the uses. 2 buckets is sufficient. And rainwater harvesting, it's an excellent method, excellent method. So whatever the rain is falling on our terrace, so it will be turned or channeled into a particular pit or any tank like thing, so that water we can use it for so many purposes like cleaning and washing and all. So we have to innovatively we have to think by for the conservation of this water and all, students. And one more important point, being a child, if really aware of this water importance, obviously you just follow and tell the importance of water to your family members, and it's our minimum responsibility to share whatever knowledge we acquired in our day-to-day classes. At least we need to share to your siblings, so that you people are educating your known or relatives and all. So it's a very good thing. And of course, before you used to tell, we have to follow. That is the first and reason. And when you'll follow all these good habits, obviously you'll be, and other people also, they'll listen. So students, if you keep on telling good to the others, of course it will be good. But first of all, you need to follow. You need to conserve the water. You need to take some necessary steps for the conservation of the water. Okay, unnecessarily if you are pouring the water on the road, so if you are telling some good things to others, means how they listen? They won't listen at all. Okay, even teachers, we are there, so we will keep on telling all the good things, and other side I am doing all those so same things in my personal life. It doesn't works. Okay, so when you want to tell good thing, first of all you need to follow, you need to imbibe, understand. And so far students, we covered the water is a precious resource lesson, and before I have explained water reproduction in the animals and transportation in the plants also we discussed. I hope you people are practicing all these important diagrammatic based questions or not, and you people are writing the exams also. And so we need you people need little bit of improvement, everything. So the reason is that children, already we reached peak hours. Okay, it's a very good task for all of us to fulfill our duties. And first and foremost reason thing I want to say is, you need to read the textbook. Make a habit of textbook reading. It's very good thing. And if you're not having textbooks, purchase the book, students. And additionally you have to read our material also. Okay, and let us see the See, and one more important topic I want to revise this, that here reasons for the depletion of the water table. First and prime reason is deforestation and excessive consumption of by increasing the population, very very important point. Decrease in the seepage area and excessive uses by agriculture activities, increase in industries searching for minerals as well as in the metallic bins. So children, we have to minimize all these things. So we need to encourage afforestation, reforestation, and we need to reduce the maximum wastages of the water. We need to convert the sewage water into useful water. Okay, there are many methods are there to conserve the water, but the thing is that we need to follow, and our governments need to take a good implements or good action about this water conservation. Now when then we are not giving any priority to for the conservation of the natural resources, so simply selfish mode it is going on everything. So let us hope that's okay. So students, thank you all, thank you so much